Hotelier on the Grill. Good afternoon, this is Hotelier on the Grill and I'm Stuart J. Raj and we're here today with one of the longest standing general managers in Thailand at the moment. It's Mr. Peter Caprez, the general manager of the JW Marriott in Bangkok, a landmark hotel. Rather than me introducing you, Peter, maybe just briefly introduce yourself, not too much, we'll get into that into the interview.
Peter Caprez. I've been in Thailand 25 years. I'm hailing from Switzerland. Married, one kid, taking care of 3 hotels right now. The JW Marriott, the Courtyard, where Sunday works, and the Renaissance in Samui.
Wow. And so you've been here for so long now. Question number 1, where did you first cut your teeth?
I'm hailing from Davos, which is a ski resort in Switzerland. And there are more hotels than anything else up there, so everybody lives from tourism. Funny enough, I started off in a bank, the Credit Suisse, and I figured out that's not what I want. But then I needed to find out what I really want to do. So I tried hotels. I moved from banks to hotels, more people-oriented. I worked longer hours, and my salary was 50% of what it was in the bank, but I was happy.
Wow.
So, because I grew up in a tourism resort, I suppose.
So, once you had moved over from the bank into the hotel, then, question number 2, what was your first big break?
In the hotel?
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a long time, you know. I'm a baby boomer by year of birth. And we baby boomers, we've worked throughout our lives for career.
Right.
You know, we did it the old way, one at a time. And I suppose 2 answers to your question. The first break was to get in the hotel by itself, which wasn't too easy, which wasn't too difficult being in a ski resort. And the second big break was to become as a GM for what I just mentioned earlier. GM is a difficult thing to get because, I may say that now again, no owner really in the right mind, supposedly, gives his own hotel to a person who has never run a hotel for one single minute with the top responsibility. Now, if I'm a resident manager, I can still refer to the GM. But once I'm GM, I refer to...
Right.
Exactly.
You're it.
To myself.
Right. So, question number 3, why were you able to make it to where you are now in this position of looking over 3 hotels where perhaps others have failed to?
Maybe I could say it's a certain stubbornness. You know, again, in those days when I grew up, we needed to prove ourselves. The fathers and our bosses used to say, you stick that through, you do this now 1 year, and before 1 year I don't want to hear something else. So it was the old school.
Right.
And that kind of formed us for better or for worse, what we are. So it's persistence, and it's believing that one day, through a combination of hard work, smart work, and putting in the hours we need to, that we make it to the top.
Right.
Top being at this time running a hotel.
Running the hotel.
Yeah.
And even now we see things going politically, business-wise, it goes up and down. In your time, question number 4, could you tell us about your darkest moment in your career?
I don't really have a dark moment which would stand out, but I can tell you every time the business turns south, it's difficult. I was in Hong Kong in 1987 when the Hong Kong stock market crash happened. Not only did it affect business at that time, it affected our retirement fund. In 1997, the Asian financial crisis started. I was in Thailand, and ever since, I mean, I came to Thailand in 88,
right.
89, just one year after that. All the crises in Thailand are dark moments. So 1997, then the tsunami, then the SARS. Okay, bird flu, not so much, but the coups, the political unrest, the floods. These are dark moments because it affects the livelihood of the people I'm responsible for.
So question number 6, and right now we're in one of those times. How do you get through it?
At the end of the day, what we do is a team effort. I mean, I'm the coach, like in a football team, but the players in the field, they make it happen. And in times like this, it's the team, the togetherness, the belief of one organization that we can make it through. The good thing is, in some ways, it's not the first time we are in this kind of situation. So we do have a certain routine. And the team also understands why we are where we are in terms of business levels, of reduced everything, reduced revenues, reduced profits, reduced service charge. So the team understands, and it is really with the team we are able to pull through. If I would stand alone here without support from anybody, it would be impossible.
Right. And you just said now you have almost like a system you go into.
Yeah, I mean, again, you see, I did Swiss hotel school, and they're famous for a couple of things. But what we did not learn is crisis management. And I can have so many binders and folders stacked up in my cabinet. No procedure ever fits the crisis we are facing in a complete manner, 100%. Every crisis is different. And as we enter a crisis, we work ourselves through in terms of what we have to do. There are certain parameters which do not change, but like this crisis now is different from previous issues we had.
Right. And now for question 6, what drives you?
People. That's why I left the bank. I know I was in the bank, there was this big window between me and the customer and me. So if somebody wants to rob the bank, they cannot shoot you. There was this bulletproof window. I felt like in a prison. So right now I'm in the middle of, in the center of gravity. I work with people.
Right.
I work with people on the associate side, on the employment side. I have people in the hotel. I meet people. People.
Right.
Every morning I wake up, I know I'm going to meet people, I work with people, and it makes me feel good.
So it's all about people, and I'm sure people have also been there to help bring you into this position. Question number 7, do you have a mentor? And if so, who and why?
I do not, that's a good question. I do not have a specific mentor. But again, as I move on, I depend on my boss. So I can choose my job, but I cannot choose my boss. And it's fair to say, being as long in the business as I have been, I can learn something from every single boss I'm having, whether it's maximizing revenues or saving more costs or being more sales focused. I think every person I had to me was a mentor all my life.
And so question number 8 then, could you tell us of an experience in your career that's really made you proud?
Yeah, I mean, again, on the people side, I don't want to be boring, but when I entered hotel business, I thought, maybe I'm going to meet a couple of famous people. That would be nice. And I did. So we're always getting a crowd. Just tonight we have, again, some VIP coming in, royalty from a foreign country. But I kind of know it down, you know. I met people like Norodom Sihanouk from Cambodia, John Travolta, Li Peng when he was the Chinese Prime Minister, Liz Taylor. And why I know this, because like today, when we meet somebody, we make photos for the press release. And at one time I started to collect the photos, and at a later time I started to frame them.
Oh.
And now I have a couple of picture collection with, as I say, Liz Taylor, Jimmy Carter, Michael Jackson, Pierre Trudeau when he was the Canadian Prime Minister, and more.
Wow.
And that kind of, the good thing is I remember all of them. I don't think they remember me. And the second part to this question, a bit more serious, what I'm proud of is what we do in Marriott outside running our businesses. CSR, the corporate social responsibilities. I was the business council chairman, and we call that business council. Through the vehicle of business councils, we take care of charities.
Right.
And I was for 6.5 years the business council chairman for Thailand, doing this with the Thai hotels. And through that, I have been now, since 3 years, becoming the business council advisor, the guidance member for Asia Pacific. So I take care right now of 12 countries, or coordinating 12 countries in terms of corporate social responsibility.
Right.
From Australia to India, and from Korea to
Oh, wow. It goes
whatever,
that far.
12, yeah, so 12 Asia Pacific countries. And that's really something which, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel proud because we give back. You know, we give back as part of our business in the community we serve, and now in my position, in the communities or in the countries Marriott operates hotels.
Right. Wow. So corporate social responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a big thing now for all companies. Question number 9. With so many GMs and hotels coming up, what's some of the best advice that you give somebody looking to be a successful GM?
To be a successful GM, I have to tell you that success is never final. So as long as we recognize whatever we do, it's an achievement at the time, but we can never rest on our laurels.
Right.
Business shifts, paradigms shift, and with it we have to adapt. So never stop learning, regardless of the title and whatever they bestow us with. Never stop learning.
Right.
The minute we stop learning, I think we are on the way in the wrong direction.
And so on the flip side, question number 10, what's one thing that hotel GMs that you might have noticed that hotel GMs shouldn't get wrong?
With the increased technology environment and the increased responsibility we have to, I mean, at the end of the day, we need to make profit.
Right.
We can say whatever we want. The core of our business are people and our guests. Taking care of the one side of the associates and on the other side of the guests is still the core of our business. So regardless of all the technology and all the systems we have and the modern hotels we build and the nice places we operate, the basic is still we are here to take care of a guest. That guest wants to give us money for him to be taken care of. That's the core of our business. That's our business, how we operate. Don't forget that.
Right. And so question number 11 then, if you weren't in the hotel industry, what's your ideal alternate career?
Not a bank. Yeah, I seen the question coming. I would have been, you know, it's interesting. I wanted to become flight attendant. That was one of my dreams when I was young, because I always wanted to see the world.
Right.
And I've applied at that time at Swiss Air, as it was called, but I didn't make it.
Wow, so you could have taken a whole different tangent then.
So now looking back, I'm quite happy that that didn't work out. I was already kind of starting hotel career, but I thought I'd do a little bit hotels until I really make it into the airplanes. And in those days, flying was still a bit more glamorous than it is today. I didn't make it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you could have been a flight attendant.
Right,
So
for better or for worse.
Well, Peter, this has been intriguing learning about how you've made it to where you are. Question 12, it's a little bit different to the rest of the questions, but it also lets us see who you are as a person. What's one app? Oh, that's okay. I can cut that. So, what's one app that you're currently hooked on, or that you're using, or that's caught your attention that you would be able to suggest to our listeners?
Yeah, quickly backtracking. In our age, we grew up without computers. So, at one time, computers came into our lives, and we had to learn it the hard way because we were already kind of in a certain age, not like our kids or young people. They grow up with it. So I always had to make an effort to go into the apps. But to come to to your question directly, I'm an iPad guy.
Right.
And I'm having now a Samsung 4 as well. I was always against the touchscreen because my fingers somehow weren't very amicable with touchscreens. Now it works. Mm-hmm. And the apps I'm using, besides the professional apps, are really apps in terms of information. Mm. You know, I like to see the news. I like to see sports.
Right.
So anything which is related to sports and news, I'm having it on my iPad.
Yeah, there.
And the flexibility we have nowadays to see it in every corner we are, that is just still mind-blowing to me. You know, I don't want to be boring and maybe kills time, but when we grew up, the telephone had a wire, you know, and it was this thing. And I seen a cartoon where there is this telephone picture, and you see two mobile phones, a big one and a small one. And the small mobile phone says to the big mobile phone, "Daddy, I didn't know that our ancestors had tails," meaning to say the cable of the phone. Yeah, imagine that.
So it's amazing that we can use any apps these days.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter. Well, thank you very much. It's been an honor to have you on Hotelier on the Grill, and thank you for your hospitality.
Here. Yeah, same here.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I like the questions. Thank you.
Hotelier on the Grill.